Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever the case may be. This is Cross Examinations Live. I am your host, Mike S. Miller. If you're on Facebook, please do hit that link in the description. Come on up to come on over to YouTube and let's get this party started, shall we? So, what's up, Dark Admiral March Hare? How are you all doing today? I guess you're getting notifications, right? Because people are coming in. 10 watching now. Thank you. Let me say hello to Dark Admiral March Hare, Dater Chip, David Rogers, Josh Graydon, Evan James, Lone Star Squadron. Oh, sadly, I leave work in 15 minutes. Well, sorry to hear that, Dater Chip. I have something new today, and interestingly enough, there were no comments from yesterday's show, and guess what I managed to do? I managed to hook up a phone number. I had this like cellular home phone device. You don't have to watch me the whole time. You know that, right? You can do your homework. It's just kind of creepy. A little. You're always like looking at me. Look, watch. Anyways, and so the phone number is in the description. You can call me during this thing, and if I have a moment of dead air and I feel like taking a call, I will see a little light flash. I will press speakerphone, and you will be on my show. How neat is that? How neat is that? This is like a radio show now. It's like a freaking radio show, man. How cool is that? The stream last night had you rolling. The stream last night had me cringing. And I was like this far from just booting Ethan. I had to remove him from the. Come on, dude. I'm just gonna turn this away so I don't have to see you. There we go. That shows a messy thing. All right. I should do podcasts. What does that mean? He's
audio podcast.
Audio podcast? Well, can't you just download these and upload them to podcast stream thing? You can do it for me. Death Bell, Andy Hayes, Audio Melon. Hello, everybody. Mike, we are all watching you. Stop being shy. I know, it's when I look up and I see him, just like blankly staring. It's just a little, I don't know. Hold on a second, my computer's kind of lagging. Oh my gosh, come on. What the heck happened? Oh, there we go. All right, wow, I'm getting some lag. Although it looks fine on YouTube. Last night was funny. Oh gosh, stop. What in the heck is happening here? There's a lot of stuff popping up. My computer has decided to go banana crazy.
What are you looking at?
What are you looking at? All right. Sorry about that, guys. I hope everyone is having a good day. Mike. Hey, Mike. Yeah, can you stop? I am being trolled by everybody. I am being trolled. This is my recompense for trolling everybody. Is I'm being trolled by everybody. You know what? Let's take a call. Let's take a call. The number is in the description. Let me see. 619-740-9103. This is going to be a dedicated phone number. A dedicated phone number for my live streams. So it won't always be available because, well, I guess I could buy another phone, but this is the house phone, so I unplugged it from the house. So nobody, please don't call my house phone because you won't get through. But if you call that number, someone can get through, and we can have a chat. It will be very interesting. Sorry, here. I should really take care of my ear hairs off air. But anyways, bananas aren't crazy. They're Delicious. What is up, Sith Lord? Withheld rather not say. Hugh. What up, Hugh? My regular peeps. David. Mountain Shark. Better unplug it when you're not on. Well, I have the ringer off, so the only way I can tell is if the little thing starts flashing. I have the cell. I'm calling that one. I won't answer the cell. You were very Christian last night with Ethan pummeling you. You kept turning the other cheek. Yeah, I should have just booted him at some point. I was lamenting. Hey, Mike, hey, Mike, Mike, hey, Mike, hey, Mike. Mike. I sound like what? More Australian? Mike. Mike. Well, if there are not going to be any calls, are you guys afraid? You guys are afraid. I'm opening it up to phone calls and nobody's calling in. RPD for $10. Mike. Guess what day it is? What's that from? Hump Day. I missed that whole commercial thing. EVS just likes you too much. Yeah. Hey, and we have our first caller. You're on Cross Examinations Live.
Mike, how are you?
Please.
George Peter Johnson.
George, what is up, brother?
I thought that would make this pity call because no one's actually calling us.
Yeah, let me check the volume. Yeah, I mean it's an interesting experiment, right? Because I love talk radio all the time, so I'm like, man, I'm gonna try this. I mentioned it last night on the show. I don't know if you were watching, but John Malin's like, yeah, do it. I'm like, I can't just do it now. I had to find the unit and all that stuff. So how you doing, brother?
Good. I was curious about the setup. May I suggest something very simple?
Yeah.
You have an iPad?
Somewhere, yeah.
Okay. Well, if you have an iPad or an iPhone, what you can do is get yourself a virtual phone number for the App Store for $35 a year, and that could be your dedicated calling number.
Well, this number, I've literally, it's a cellular unit that came with my Sprint plan, and I've had it probably for 4 years, and I've never ever used it. So it is a dedicated number, and it's not costing me anything in additional. I could just go buy a $10 phone, and just leave it on my desk so I have a secondary.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, here's a question.
Yeah.
The whole thing about skepticism in the Bible.
About what?
When the King James Bible was created, because the king was having a little bit of trouble with the peasants. They were all reading the Bible, and they were all slowly going, hey, wait a minute, why are we following this guy? We should be following Jesus. We're following God. And he excised all these passages out of the Bible. My question to you is, why are the excised passages not scripture anymore?
What passages were excised from the King James Bible that you know of?
Enoch, give me a second.
No. Enoch, that's Enoch is apocryphal.
One second. Just let me pull up my text file.
How's the audio, guys? Justin McClure says he can't hear anything. Let me change the settings on my microphone. Oh no, it is on. It is on broad. How's the audio? I know it's kind of a rough audio on my end as well, but can you guys hear it? Scott Ebent is obviously responding to it, so.
Okay, I got it in front of me. So that's Judah, Book of Esther, Solomon, etc.
Book of Esther is in the Bible. Isn't the King James?
No, a lot of these, the full passages were excised out of it.
Yeah, there's a few chapters. Like one of them were,
Chapters? That's interesting.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, you know what? King
finds passages that were removed, and eventually the King James Bible became what it is now.
Well, the King James Bible isn't. It is a translation. So if there were things removed from it, I'd be more surprised that since King James was a homosexual, that he wouldn't have removed the scriptures about homosexuality. So as to why the particular translators or scribes, I don't know how you want to call them, the authorities put in place to put the King James Bible together, why they excised those particular passages, I don't know. I'd have to see them on a case-by-case basis. I can't, you know, if they're scripture, they're scripture. I don't know why someone would edit them out. But I'm not knowledgeable enough about it to actually give you a real answer.
Okay, no, that's fine. It's just a point of conversation.
Yeah.
You know, an answer coming out of it is neither here nor there. It's the journey.
Yeah.
Here's a question. I'm curious. You went from a mega church to a very small church, and you said because of the personal thing.
Yeah.
I don't know about the whole mega church thing, but I'm curious. Isn't there like managers in the mega church that handle, you know, X number of people to give you that small feeling, or was it just too overwhelming?
Well, what they were trying to do was they were trying to get people to join smaller, like midweek Bible studies and stuff, which is something my church also does. They're called growth groups, and you're supposed to, you know, how. Oh my gosh, someone else is calling in. I forgot you could do that. I'm not going to take that yet. So, you know, you're supposed to plug in, join a small growth group, all that kind of stuff. We never really did that, and so I don't know. It was a great church, but I just like the smaller church thing, anyways.
Okay.
So.
I was just curious. Well, thank you for your time. This is really wonderful.
All right, George. Well, thanks for calling, brother. Cool. Thanks, man. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Channel Art Bell. Channel Art Bell. How can I channel? Good evening. Good morning. I can't even do this. His voice was so deep. Good evening. Good evening. Good morning. I can't. No Art Bell from me. No Art Bell from me. The books in the Apocrypha came from the Septuagint, the Greek translation of the Hebrews in non-Judean Mediterranean world, the diaspora, possibly originating in Alexandria. Yeah, I'd really like to get a better sense of where the Septuagint, not the Septuagint, where the apocryphal books came from, because I know they weren't canon in Orthodox Judaism. The S in S, Mike S. Miller, Stanford Shapiro show now. No, Shapiro doesn't take calls. Well, he has guests, but he doesn't take calls. KJV is where we get proper context as to what Behemoth and Leviathan and Unicorn on. And we have another call. Please don't call while I have a caller on, because I don't have a way to just stop that from doing the thing. So you're on cross-examinations.
Hey, Mike, this is Joseph.
Hey, Joseph, what's up, man?
Oh, nothing much. I just saw you online, and I think when you're trying to get my kid together for stuff, I might as well give me a call on something on the spot, and I can't really do much of anything than it was.
All right. Yeah, this audio is kind of weird. Maybe I should get a better phone. All right.
Yeah, it's a try. I think you're always going to do that now to the first.
Try speaking with your mouth a little further away from your phone.
Gotcha. You listening about it?
A little bit.
All right. Are you guys still talking about the other like books of the Bible, like the other Dead Sea Scroll books and whatnot that weren't included?
We can. What, do you have some information?
Well, I was just going to add to this with some of what I know. Like the Book of Enoch and a few others, a lot of them weren't included, not so much because they weren't gospel or weren't part of the Bible, but they were degraded so badly that there were only pieces of them.
Well,
and the translators had issues using it because they did not have the context. They were so beat up and so torn up.
well, the education as canon by the scribes in Israel, because they were dedicated to sure that they kept the written word perfect.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's not just not valid. There's a lot of good info in them.
Yeah, they're great. Actually, is just such an amazing book.
Yeah, I think some people think it's more nefarious, and then it's like, oh, they were trying to keep this out. It's like, I don't think they were trying to keep it out. I think they just didn't know what to do with a bunch of half, torn up scrolls.
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, that's the thing. If you know the method by which scripture was copied by the scribes, right? Where they had the entire ritual. They would start with all, and they would go have an all, like a stick where you put the stick on the one letter. You're copying that letter. Then you move the next letter, and you move the stick. You copy the next letter. Every time they came to the name of God, they were using. They would take a ritual bath, and so they would be and use a new quill to start every time they came to God's name, so that it would be a virgin, cleansed ritual. How much respect they had for the authority of the scripture, and like to copy, say, the book of Genesis, 6 months, right? And after that 6 months time was done, they would go through it, and they would check again, not letter for letter, but they would do like a countdown thing where they would put the all here. They would count, 70 letters over to the right, same letter, right? And then they would do that throughout the entire scroll. And if there was one single error in the scroll, even though it took them 6 months, they didn't have any whiteout, they would burn the scroll. So there were no errant copy, canonized scripture to be the will and word of God. And so the fact that they only had parts of some of the apocryphal books would indicate very strongly that the Jews did not hold them to be the will and word of God. They were great historical documents, don't get me wrong, and totally worth reading. But yeah, I mean, that's why they weren't canon.
Yeah, and I pretty much agree with you there across the board. I find it all a lot of religious texts I find interesting, really. Anything found in these scrolls, I like to look at and read. I feel like there's a reason the King James ended up the way it does.
Yeah.
I don't think it was an accident. As much as I love the Book of Enoch and find it interesting, there's a reason. And even the Book of Giants is really interesting. It's kind of disturbing, but there's reasons the stuff isn't there, and the accounts are still in Genesis. They're still in the Bible. You just get kind of a summarized version in the King James with a bigger tale.
Right, and it's not. Chuck Missler often said that he was James only, and it wasn't because King James was perfect. His translation of the Bible. They all have errors. It's just that the King James has been around for 400 years, so we know what all the errors are.
Yeah, and I feel like as of today, the King James is possibly accurate unless you can read Greek and read both.
Yeah,
I can.
I wish I could.
So, oh yeah, me too. I really do wish I could. I think it's linguistics are really interesting, but unfortunately, there's no way. So,
Yeah. We're calling in. That was great information.
Hey, it was nice talking to you, man. You have a good day.
You too, brother. Facebook peeps, YouTube channel. I'm going to close this video out now. We'll see you tomorrow. Or we'll see. All right, back to the chat. What time is it? What time is it now?
Well, there's some apocrypha were discarded because they had contradictory beliefs.
You're going to have to go out and call in.
Yes. Because I was studying some Catholic, like some of the books in the Catholic Bible, like Maccabees and stuff. And like I had accounts of like the same king dying twice or 3 times in different ways.
Oh, I got another call. Let's see. This is Cross Examinations. You're on the air.
Hey, this is David Peterson.
Hey, David. How you doing? Man, this is fun. Voices from text.
Yeah, this is really awesome. We got talking to Mike Miller, so hope you enjoyed all the rain we've been getting in Southern California. That's been great.
Yeah, it's so it's a big puddle road and just like.
Last year, I know exactly what you mean. So what's the topic? Are we talking the Apocrypha, whatever?
We can talk Apocrypha. If you have another subject, feel free.
Well, not particularly, but since I noticed the live stream about the State of the Union, I was wondering, in regards to that, the Trump, I think it was a very notable Trump, said that America will never be socialist.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty amazing. The funniest thing, of course, was Bernie Sanders' expression for that was just unbelievable.
Yeah, he's like.
I was actually wondering, kind of bringing this back to God a little bit. What do you think? What would be your opinion on the perfect, or what God would consider to be the best type of government? You know,
the best type of government would be a what's the word? What's the opposite of malevolent? Benevolent. The best type of government would be a benevolent monarchy. Because if someone was truly good and truly righteous and could judge without having to deal with all the bull crap in the politics, that would be. But world scenario stuff and for the fallen realistic world we live in, I think we have the best type of government.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Actually, I was going to take the more biased approach here, and I would argue for simply because I think that the Bible is about a man's personal relationship with God and how we interact with God, and that is done exclusively through our choices. Democracy puts the choice in the hands of the people as opposed to in the hands of the leadership. And so the individual gets to make the choices.
Yeah, but that begets mob rule, which tramples on the rights of the minority.
That is a valid point. But it's not exactly anarchy, though. I think it would fall more into anarchy. With a democracy, of course, we do have rule of law. It's just that those rule of law are more towards, I get them mixed up with the negative rights, correct? For rights that I have because they do not require another person to give them to me. So law, I believe, should protect that. And I feel like that is kind of in going with how God was more ability to research, but find God's way, I suppose. So, I thought on that. So,
yeah, but then, I mean, I had this argument. Who was I arguing with? About I don't know if you saw the stream. We were arguing about the Middle East. Oh, Tenaple. I was arguing with Doug about this because he was saying, we have to bring democracy to the Middle East. And I'm like, are you out of your flipping mind? I'm like, if you give democracy to Muslims, that's when they, like 70-80% of Muslims agree with terrorism, right? They polled it. So if you got 70-80% of the people, they're going to vote in the people who want to commit terrorism. I mean, they vote in Egypt. They voted in the Muslim Brotherhood, right? In was it Libya? They did similar in Iraq. After we left town, that's why it all went to crap. Democracy in the hands of a majority, not a good idea. So yeah. But
yeah, that's another point. And also, even when they do vote more towards personal liberties, oftentimes it'll get usurped by somebody with a bigger. Well, actually, Venezuela might be a good example of that. Where my understanding was the other guy won, but then what's the state? I can't remember. He ended up going to power and like taking the power out from under him. So yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I guess humanity is just untrustworthy in general.
yeah, I mean that's why the Democratic Republic under a constitution of rights is I think it's the best that mankind has done since monarchies have crumbled.
Yeah, and especially since those rights are determined by Judeo-Christian values.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. All right, David. Thank you, man. Call again.
All right. Good talk.
All right.
God bless.
God bless. All right. Since this is about the State of the Union, why don't we jump over to the interweb, and I will share this article. 16.com. Alrighty then. Top 5 major takeaways from President Trump's 2019 State of the Union address. By the way, if you guys are liking this this radio show thing with the phone, press 1 in the chat. Let's see. President Trump stood before the new Congress on Tuesday for the State of the Union address and asked legislators to come together to get stuff done. The call for unity speaks volumes about the current divisive state of the Union. Coming off the longest government shutdown in American history, the president urged Congress to work with him with a common sense solution. Yeah, let's see if that ever happens. One thing I did notice, and if you were watching the 7-hour-long stream last night, you noticed when I ran. Yeah, Dennis Peruch, it's a phone. The phone number is in the description, and so when once in a while I will take a call. So, anyways, what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. Dadgummit. Dennis, you stood before the thing. Repeated calls for unity. We must reject the politics of revenge, resistance, retribution, embrace the boundless potential of cooperation, compromise, and economy. Good. Together we can break decades of political stalemate. And that's the thing about Donald Trump is, people argue with me when I say it, but Trump is not a politician. Trump didn't, pander, grease wheels. He didn't do all the crap that politicians have to do to attain power. He just got up there and he trolled his way into the White House. He just said what he thought. He didn't care what anybody thought about what he thought. He was telling the truth, or at least his version of the truth. And that's why I believed all of his promises. And he got into power, and he did what with those promises? He has fulfilled more promises than any other president in my lifetime that I can remember. I got to turn this. Keep getting buzzing from my phone. So yeah, repeated calls for unity. That was obviously a good sign. Now this, yay, 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 we're all about us. These white-coated women sat unmoving, grimace-faced, pinched-faced, angry, bitter, all night long as we were talking, as every good and great thing that has happened in our country. And then he says, and there are more women in government than ever before, and they all get up and they cheer and they love and they're all celebrating themselves. They never celebrated any good news about the country, about minorities, about the disabled, about unemployment, about anything good in this country, they were angry that it was good. And then when it became about them, they got up and did the jig because they are about themselves. They high-fived each other as if they did something. Yeah, Ocasio-Cortez high-fived nothing at all. She just... There's a little gif out there of her just high-fiving the air. It's kind of funny. Number 2, an emphasis on economic growth. In a speech, President's economic growth in the last 2 years, I think that should have been touted, the country's economic growth. Presidency, 3.5 million jobs created, including 600,000 manufacturing jobs. Yep, 600,000 manufacturing jobs. Those jobs that Obama promised were never coming back. How's he going to bring those back? Does he have a magic wand? He's going to... Yes, he did. Thank you. The 5 million Americans have been taken off of food stamps, which is, I think, the mirror opposite of what Obama did, was getting more people on food stamps. And because a free people is an independent people. If you do not have to rely on the government, you are more likely to have a wonderful and blessed life, and you're not poor. You can still be the working poor as long as you are not sucking on the government tit. You will at least feel like you have purpose and power in your own life. More people working now than at any time in our history. 157 million workers. That is almost 50% of the population. No one has benefited more from our thriving economy than women. They have filled 58% of the new jobs created in the last year. Okay. Number 3, a charge to end HIV and childhood cancer. Okay, well, I think this may just be a troll, honestly, because that's one of those promises that everyone's always trying to make. It's like, come on, let's put enough money into this to cure cancer. They don't want to cure cancer. Cancer is a $10 billion a year industry. Ray Thulu says, Mike, this is cross-examinations. Use teat, please. It's a $10 billion a year industry. And there are cures for cancer out there that the FDA and the AMA have shut down because they don't want to kill cancer. And they don't want to cure cancer. They just don't. They don't. But if Trump puts a beneficent, am I forgetting this word again? Benevolent. Why do I keep forgetting benevolent? He puts a benevolent bill in or portion into this massive bill that's got everything in it, and then the Democrats still vote against it, then that is playing chess with your opponent. Because who can disagree? Who can disagree to funding research to end HIV and childhood cancer? Anyone? Anyone? The Democrats will. The Democrats will. Because it comes with a wall. 4, a continued call for immigration reform and southern border wall. Yeah, I don't think we need to even go through that. And 5, this is dumb. Someone posted that Nancy created the FU clap, right? Thanks for creating the FU clap. Yeah, right. By this time of the speech, Nancy was staring longingly into the back of Donald Trump's head like a doe-eyed girl who had become smitten with an older man. Although, actually, is she older? I don't know. She might be older. But, man, she was just smitten. Did you guys watch this thing? Did you pay attention to Nancy Pelosi by the end of it? She was absolutely Donald Trump at the end of this thing. It was so funny. I seriously could not believe my eyes. Yeah, Ray Thulu, you're not the first one to say her meds kicked in. It's more like her shrooms kicked in. All right, 5 things are happening with the U.S. in the international sphere. I'm going to read this one. The president mentioned several things happening on the global stage during the State of the Union. Trump mentioned a new trade agreement between the U.S. and Mexico and Canada, a trade agreement known as the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Agreement. Will replace NAFTA, which was a historic trade blunder and catastrophe. I know lots and lots of people who are affected and do agree. So Trump asked members of Congress to pass the United States Reciprocal Trade Act. If another country places unfair tariff on an American product, we can charge the exact same tariff on the same product that they sell to us. I love that. That is such a great idea, because that is fairness. That is fairness. You can't let one side tip the scales. Sticking with trade, the president mentions that a new tariff that was recently imposed on China, a tariff that has been placed on $250 billion on Chinese goods, which has resulted in the U.S. and China working on a new trade agreement. Yep, he's the negotiator in chief. And man, how long has it been that we've needed to have somebody get in there and just push China around a little bit, because their unfair trade practices have been killing jobs in this country. Thank God President Trump is there in power. In terms of international diplomacy, the president noted that he will be meeting again with Chairman Kim Jong-un this month, and the U.S. continues to push for peace on the Korean Peninsula. I'm like, hey, spoilers, man, you don't. That wasn't necessary to announce that, but I don't know, whatever. Trump's better at this stuff than I am, so. A little closer to home, President noted that the United States has officially recognized the legitimate government of Venezuela and its new interim president, Juan Guaido. I really need to look more into this topic because I cannot speak to it because I have not. I know the situation because of the last two presidents and the dire straits that Venezuelans are in right now because of socialism. And thank God, yes, Trump stood up and said, America will never be a socialist country. And Bernie Sanders sat there with his red face, biting his tongue. He couldn't believe it. A little closer to home, President noted, no. He added, we stand with the Venezuelan people. We stand with the Venezuelan people in their noble quest for freedom. And we condemn the brutality of the Maduro regime. Yes. And then the Russia treaty thing, and I guess that's about it. This is cross-examinations, and this is a Christian show. This stuff does bleed into politics a lot. The thing, I'm surprised, because this is ChristianHeadlines.com. Why? You're at ChristianHeadlines.com. The major takeaway should have been his stand against partial birth abortion. His standing up there at a State of the Union and outright condemning and calling for a national end to partial birth abortion, late-term abortion. That should have been #1 on ChristianHeadlines.com. So I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're trolling me. Is everyone trolling me today? Is that the problem? All right, let's go to the chat. Madero, that's who I was thinking of. Looks like you guys are having your own conversation in the chat. How's it going, Mike? Just got here. What did I miss? Well, Retro and everybody who's new here in the last few minutes, whatever, 67 of you. Guess what I have now? I got a dedicated phone line for my radio call-in show. So this is now as well. The number is 619-740-9103. It is in the description once in a while. If I see the light flashing and I don't have anything I'm currently talking about, I'll take a call. Land whales for MAGA. You have such a terrible view of your own body shape. Let's see. Trump said America would never be a socialist. Oh, yeah. I think I already read that. That was a bit ago. Bloodlust for children. It's disturbing and gross. Yeah, 70% of Americans, roughly, are against second trimester abortions, right? Second trimester. That's after the first 3 months. Trump was talking about late-term partial birth abortions, which I guarantee you more than 90% of the country believes is infanticide and disgusting. And when he was talking about that and calling for an end to that, they cut to those white drabbed women, and they were all there like just mad, pinched faced, angry, you know, unbelievable that they are so tone deaf. They can't understand. These are the leaders. Okay, David, we were talking about democracy. When you have people voting in these morons, and the morons they're voting in are the ones who are most vociferously anti-God, right? You won't defend the life of a child who is kicking and dreaming in the womb and sucking his thumb or her thumb, and you won't stand up and applaud the idea that this barbaric procedure should be ended. I'm not even going to describe the procedure again. I've done that on the show, and it is just vile and disgusting. They're so tone deaf. They're so tone deaf. I don't know. It's demonic. It's evil. Anyways, once again, 619-740-9103. If anybody wants to call in and talk about this, I will open up the phone lines. God bless USA for helping Venezuela. Yeah. You know, the guy that colored... oh, so much credit. Where's Tio Gonzalez, the guy that colored this cover of Lone Star? He just left Venezuela, I think, like last year. He was, you know, I knew him I've known him for over a decade. Met him on DeviantArt or PencilJack or one of those forums. And yeah, I mean, I've been hiring him since Alias for art, you know, coloring on stuff. He finally got out of Venezuela about a year ago. Yeah, thank God, right? Oh my goodness. Retrographics book says abortion should be a woman's choice, but it should be a heavy choice, not frivolous drive-through murder. I believe. Where's the comics? I believe that education is the key to ending abortion. I think I've had this discussion a couple of times on the show. Educating and yeah, forced education. Forced education. I mean, get in there and learn everything, not only everything that you're about to do. Make them watch an abortion procedure, like, you know, on video. Show them a child kicking and screaming and trying to get away from the abortion tools that are tearing them apart. Give her the statistics, the truth about the depression and the suicide of women who've gone through abortion. Give them the truth about the accidental sterilization. Give them the truth about the fact that there's a high chance that because they're aborting an unwanted child, they're more than likely going to miscarry a wanted child or two or three. You know, scraping the inside of the machine that God designed to nourish babies, it's not a good idea if you want to have babies later. So all of the stuff, all the detrimental stuff about, other than the fact that you're killing a human being, all of that detrimental stuff should be taught and understood by any girl or woman who is seeking an abortion. That, I think, would cut abortions down by about 95%. It would cut abortions down more than even making abortion illegal. So, yeah, and that's... IDS says, lost me at God. My abortion, my pro-life argument has zero to do with God. This is all this is all logic and reason. I was pro-life before I even became a Christian. I was an agnostic, and I was pro-life. So, David Peterson, yeah, the only time I would consider abortion is when the mom's in question's life is at risk and she's already taken care of children. I wouldn't even add that second part. Just if her life is at risk, obviously, the life that exists, the life will not exist. The life of the mother is preeminent over the life of the child. So, sorry, what? Would forced education have ended slavery, communism, and Nazism? It might have ended slavery. Communism, yeah. If you forced a real understanding of free markets, and because what are they doing? They're forcing education on our kids today and indoctrinating them into communism, right? Liam for $2 says, "What is we made abortion a mandatory part of sex ed?" Like, you mean all the stuff that I just said? Yeah, but there's already so many cats out of the bag, meaning women who have gone through high school are now, out there hooking up with dudes in bars when they're drunk and whatnot. So no, I think that my solution is, you want an abortion, get a license to abort. Get a license, which means you take a class, you prove that you understand all the information, and then you have a license to kill. And I really think most women, almost all women, well, you know what? I can't say almost all. It seems like 30% of any population is insane. So let's say 70, we would solve 70% of the abortion problem. They use this life of the mother of the child in a slippery slope all the way to the Virginia bill law. No. That's not the life of the mother. That's the health of the mother. The health of the mother becomes the slippery slope. But quite honestly, there's never a need to abort to save the life of a mother. It's just ridiculous. Okay, I can't say never. The example I've heard, is chemotherapy, because that would kill the child in order to save the mother. But like I said, there's other ways to cure cancer that were perfectly healthy for a baby. Once again, the phone number I will take calls now is 619-740-9103. Let me see how much time we do have left. We've got about 12 minutes left. I can take a couple calls if you guys are interested. 619-740-9103. Leftists treat unborn elephants and bald eagles with more love. Oh, yeah, definitely. What's your thoughts on vaccinations? None of my kids are vaccinated. Actually, that's not true. Elijah's got a couple vaccinations. But
I got autism,
though. Manic Monday podcast. Get a abortion. Get a hysterectomy too by law. Yeah, that would probably end it, or at least it would end second abortions. Yeah. Dennis Bruce, devil's advocate. Conception nor birth defines human viability. At what age should killing humans be illegal? When a person can fend for themselves, 10 years old. That's right. That's why it's not. It's the viability question. It's just a moving goalpost, right? It's an erasable line in the sand, because what is viable to you, what is viable to one person, what is viable to another? No, the scientific definition, these are the people who are always going on and on about, you don't believe in science. The scientific definition of life requires life to begin at conception. The viability, which means when can a human being survive on its own, yeah, you're looking at well into childhood, because an infant cannot survive on its own. It can survive outside of the womb, but it has to be cared for, right? Children have to be cared for, otherwise they will die. So yeah, viability. It's just a ridiculous line. What about premature births that survive? Right, exactly, George. They want it for body parts from the unborn. I don't even know what word you're trying to spell, crass clown. Sells while in black market and black magic. Black magic? Ooh, that's creepy. The left abandoned science, life, gender, they've denied science. I know. Oh, lucrative. Man, your thumbs must have stumbled all over the keyboard for that one. Typo demons. Black Angus, I'm not going to show it, but I'll read it. Yeah, I'm a pro-life atheist. You don't even need a god to realize how effed it is to kill your own species. It's not even animalistic infanticide, killing previous alpha's offspring. Exactly right, Black Angus. Like I said, I was pro-life because my dad made me see the logic in it. I'll just make this short version of it. He said, "Do you know when life begins?" And I said no because I wasn't thinking about science. And he said, if you don't know when life begins, you must err on the side of life. So the example I use is if there's a box in the street and there's a steamroller coming and the box says baby on the side and you don't know whether or not there's a baby in there, do you go and grab the box and get it out of the way of the steamroller or not? And 100% of human beings would say, get the box out of the way.
What's in the time?
100% of sane human beings. That does not account for all the white suits in Congress. William says, LGBT feminist lobby group in Victoria are calling for abortion up to 3 months after birth here in Australia. Are you? Yeah, slippery slope. And they're being heard. It's insane. It is insanity. It is absolutely insanity. Abortion after birth isn't abortion, it's murder. Yep, absolutely. It amazes me they can still call it abortion after birth. Well, it's always murder. It's always the taking of an innocent life, by definition. The taking of an innocent life is the definition of murder. So they want to use euphemisms and they want to change the language. Even abortion doesn't even work. That is an abortion. That is first-degree murder. Yeah. This is why you can't have the conversation with leftists, because they don't play fair. As a conservative and a Christian, I feel it's important to be unmoving in the saving babies aspect. Absolutely. Once again, call-in number is 619-740-9103 if anybody wants to get on the cross-examination show before we wrap up the show. David Peterson again. Frank Stevens is a man with Down syndrome who is 100% pro-life and an advocate because he was the perfect candidate for abortion and would have missed out on his life. Absolutely. And as I gave the example before, one of my son's best friends, his mother's doctor told her to get an abortion because they had that Down syndrome test and it said that their son was Down syndrome. She did not abort, and he did not have Down syndrome. I'm not going to say it on air. He's a little weird, though. Anyways, they say they say that natal-related depression can last up to 3 months after birth, and so a parent might not know they're fit to be a parent until after birth, so should be able to opt out. That's insanity. Black Angus says, didn't know you didn't cuss. New to you from EVS. LOL. There's a huge example of its secular problem. China is having to import women from Southeast Asia to make up for dead girls. I know. They wiped out their entire generation of girls because they had the one-child policy. So they would abort girls to only have men. And now they have a surplus of something like 200 or 300 million men. It's crazy. It is crazy. One last call, and I won't say it again. 619-740-9103. If you want to call in and chat online. I don't want a baby. Never mind. Bullcrap. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, what they have these drop boxes. I can't remember where they are, but they're like at fire stations and emergency services places. And so get overwhelmed, and she does finally say, like, you know, because the whole sticking babies, my cousin was telling me that in Japan they have these like what are those I can picture it. The word escapes me. I don't know why. Lockers. They have these lockers like all over by the train stations and everything there. And he was saying that they will find dead babies in those lockers like all the time, because women just, they can't put up with it. They can't deal with it. They'll give birth and they'll just stick them in a locker. Yeah. But so anyways, problem, and so they started doing these anonymous drop boxes, like I said, at places. I wish they would do this everywhere that there was a problem, but they would. The phone number's in the description, guys. You don't have to post it online or on the chat, but I don't care if you do. And so, you know, they put it in. Girl walks away, free and clear. Ding ding. A fireman comes in and says, "Hey, somebody dropped off a baby," and then they take care of it through, I don't know, orphanages or through foster care or however they do it. But I mean, my God, if you don't want your baby, don't freaking kill it. Come on, aren't we humans? There's a movie about those boxes and the guy who started it. I think I saw it, March. I think I saw it. Why can't people just think of not on purpose as happy little accidents? I know, right? It's the best blessing in the world. Children are the best. That's are the greatest blessing to life, and people see them as inconveniences so great that they're willing to snuff out a human life. I don't know how long God's going to put up with this crap. You know? I just don't know. All right, we got about 3. People are afraid of responsibility. That's funny. Artemis, I said at one point, by the way, if you are new here, as who was that was new? Somebody. If you are new here, Black Angus, anyone else, please do subscribe. Hit that like button, share it out, all that fun stuff. Hit the bell for notifications. Make sure the notifications bell is actually rung and stuck. And yeah, people are afraid of responsibility. I said one time, and it just kind of dawned on me. I was thinking through all of the argue about Republicans, Democrats, you know, conservative. I couldn't think of a Democratic platform that wasn't based somehow on an effort to avoid personal responsibility. Posted that on Facebook, and my friends were like, mind blown. I just saw this actual on baby Hitler debacle by an obvious lefty atheist. Takeaway: killing the baby is racist as Hitler. I don't get it. They treat it like a disorder, exactly. Like, whoops, why is that there? Because you put it there. Crass Clown says, people are tricked into thinking they can only be happy by being self-serving. That is sadly true. Yeah, if it feels good, do it, right? That entire mentality permeating our culture since the 60s. I'm sure probably even before that, but that sort of became a mantra, right, of the hippie culture and the freedom movement culture and the the sexual revolution, man. Is that the sexual revolution? Yeah, man. We'll turn it up, man. Only older people are going to understand that. Children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from Him. William Gray quotes the Bible. Like arrows in the hand of a warrior are children born of one's youth. Blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them. Well, I am certainly, my quiver is certainly full, Liam. Yeah, and it's funny because people are just like, 5 kids, how can you handle, how can you do it? 5 kids is great. Oh no, I've got an incoming call, but it is, show's over. All right, I'm going to do a real quick call. We're going to have to make it quick.
Oh, this is Dennis Clears.
Dennis, what's up?
I really just want to say God bless you and thank you for what you're doing.
Oh, thanks, Dennis. I appreciate that. God bless you. All right, God bless you, brother. Bye. All right, guys, that's it. It's been an hour. Thank you all for being here. This has been a really fun show. I'm stoked with the new the whole phone thing. So I am definitely gonna have to get my own phone, a dedicated phone instead of this one over here. But that will be the number. I'm gonna leave it up there. Obviously, be able to take calls, but what the heck? It's fun. It's a good new thing, and thanks everyone. Enjoy your day. Hug a loved one. Call someone you haven't talked to in a while. Your friends are going to depart this world, and take advantage of your time. Anyways, thanks, guys. Love you. God bless.